What else is going on is there's a really cool event, and I'm really looking forward to chatting with our next guest about it. Coming up on Labor Day, specifically on Labor Day, September 2nd, Corbin Burnes and his wife Brooke, they are hosting Uncork for a Cause. It's a charity event benefiting Ronald McDonald House Charities of Maryland. They'll be joined by fellow Orioles and other special guests at the Four Seasons Hotel. It's a charity event that will celebrate great wine, food, and friends while raising money for that great cause, the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Maryland. Tickets are available. You can get them at burns.givesmart.com. Joining us now to tell us more about this, he is, of course, Orioles ace, Mr. Corbin Burnes, and he's with us this morning here on GCR. Corbin, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's always great to chat. Thanks so much for taking the time for us this morning.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. It's great to chat with you. Corbin, this is such a cool thing. Can you give me a little bit of the backstory, how you and your family got involved with the Ronald McDonald House, why it's something that you care about so much?
Yeah, so me and my wife, we've worked with the Ronald McDonald House in some capacity for the last, I think it's been 8 years now. Really, ever since I was drafted. Kind of one of the first things that me and my wife wanted to focus on was giving back to the community we were in and helping out those that needed it. So even in the minor leagues, we were doing some stuff for the Ronald McDonald House charities back at home. Had this event in Milwaukee last year, did a lot of stuff with the Ronald McDonald House there. And then when we came to Baltimore, it was the first thing we wanted to get on the books and get lined up so we could make our mark in Baltimore and help out the families that are staying at that Ronald McDonald House, that come through that house throughout the year. Just the thought of your family member going through something and not having a place to stay, and those guys reaching out and making things as smoothly as possible is something that hits home close to us, and we're looking forward to this event coming up here on the 2nd.
No, it's awesome. When you say it hits close, was there a story or something personal in your life, or was it just you got connected with them and loved what they did?
Yeah, we just got connected from an early age. My wife's mother was a nurse for a long time, so I knew a lot of people in that space, a lot of nurses and a lot of stuff in hospitals, and so it obviously hit close to home, and us having 3 kids now and knowing what a mother or father would go through if they had a kid going through something and some treatments and needed a place, and someone reached out to help them, was just something that we thought was special, and that we wanted to be a part of.
Good on you, man. That's an awesome thing. So tying it in with wine. And I think that's maybe the part that I always like. Every time I hear the guys on the broadcast talking about this event, and I hear that you have your very own 2021 California Reserve red wine, what was how did you become a wine person? How did this happen?
Yeah, slowly over the years, I just started getting into wine a little bit.
Okay.
My dad's been in the wine space for, I guess, almost 10 years now, and so kind of enjoyed getting to taste the different kinds of wines and the varieties. And when I was approached a couple years ago to do this, I was like, it's perfect. The perfect matchup of wanting to give back and the love for wine that me and my wife have. And so when this event came about, it seemed perfect. An event to get everyone together and have good wine. There's actually some whiskey for people that aren't wine lovers.
Okay.
But get the team there, get some auction items, and raise as much money as we could. And it was a great event last year, and like I said, looking forward to it on the 2nd this year. But it's a good time to get there and try some cool wines. And they pulled a special barrel for this event, just one barrel. So it's an exclusive bottle that hopefully everyone enjoys.
That's really cool. I was going to say, you got a relatively young group of teammates. Like, I don't know how many of those guys are like wine drinkers. It feels like they'd be more likely to be more like Bud Heavy guys.
I think we have a couple that enjoy wine. I know we got staff members will be there that enjoy wine. But for those that don't, it's fun to get in and try it and see if you can, put your tongue to the test and see if you can taste the different varieties. For sure.
I was actually imagining a scenario where some of the younger guys on the team are just like, take a sip, like, nah, it's not for me. It's just not. way it's going to go. Even though it's probably like the greatest wine they'll ever have in their life. And it's just not the case. Burns.givesmart.com, again, is the website. And we're going to link it up on our Twitter account, @GlennClarkRadio, so that you can get your tickets. And this is just an opportunity. Like, everybody's, rubbing elbows. This is a chance for you to be in the presence of you, your family, and your teammates.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a bunch of guys that have already committed to going. A lot of staff, like I said, that'll be there. So it's a fun event. Come out, get to know us a little bit, try some good wine, try some food, and there should be a pretty good lineup of auction items this year.
Awesome.
Fred Tyler, our visiting clubhouse guy, home clubhouse guy, has done a good job of getting a bunch of items together and helping me get some stuff signed. So there's going to be a bunch of items, a bunch of wine, like trips to give away. So there should be a good list of auction items there.
First of all, Corbin, good on you. Kudos to you, to your wife, for how much you care about this. It's an awesome, awesome thing, and we'll continue to spread the word about it in the coming weeks. Any chance, can we assume that probably home plate umpire John Tumpain might not make it out to Uncork for a Cause on Labor Day? Can we assume he probably won't end up being on the guest list?
You know what? If he's out there, he's welcome to come.
It's very diplomatic of you, Corbin. That's very kind of you. Break bread. We'll find a common ground at that point. And Corbin, if I could, we've so enjoyed watching you pitch this season. We see, it's funny because we saw you getting after it a little bit last night. We saw Gunnar on Sunday. Have you felt like, hey man, let's get a jolt in this team. Let's get guys fired up. We know you're obviously a very good baseball team, but we know it's also been a tough stretch. Like, is it maybe a purposeful, like, hey, let's try to light a fire a little bit. Let's get something going.
No, I think we're just kind of at the point in the season that we're 100 and almost 30 games in. So it's kind of it's a unique season, right, across all sports across America, that we play really long seasons. So I think we're just kind of at that point in the year where it's starting to wear on us a little bit. We know we're a really good baseball team. We know we can play better baseball, and we haven't done that really the last couple of weeks. And so we know it's in there. We know the team we can be, and it's all about kind of digging deep and getting together as a group and really putting our heads together and fighting hard and going to win baseball games. So I think we're right there. Like I said, we've got all the pieces to do it. We're a really good baseball team. Now it's just about putting it together and going out and getting wins.
I know last night the issue was the strike zone. Where are you with the debate? Like, it feels like we're going towards the challenge system moving forward. Is that what you want to see happen? What's your opinion about how we handle balls and strikes moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the challenge system's coming. I'm one of the guys in the game that I love the human element of the umpires down the plate. I respect those guys more than anyone on the field because I think it's the toughest job. The group of umpires we have in the big leagues are the best and most well suited, I think, to call balls and strikes and the umpires down the plate. So they have a very tough job, and I think most of the time they do a great job. Obviously a lot of the stuff you see on TV with the boxes and stuff are incorrect, but these guys go in, and when they're done after the game, they're getting every strike call they either made or they missed, and so they're learning from it as well, just as we're on the mound learning from the mistakes that we're making. So, I'm in the court of those guys do a great job, and I think that they should continue to call balls and strikes and have that human element. So I'm a proponent of the challenge system because that still leaves it in their hands and doesn't go full robot.
Is it one, the idea of it being 2 per game, is that enough with challenges?
I don't think you want it to be something where you have so many that every ball and strike call is being challenged. And, the game slows down a little bit extra than it needs to be. I think what we want to see as a player group, and probably the fans too, is that big missed strike call or big missed, obviously play at the plate or something has now been fixed with this replay system. But you don't want a ball or strike call in the late innings of a game determining the outcome of a game. So I think that's where that kind of challenge system has come from. And so I think when it does come about in the next couple of years, you'll see most of those challenges being used in the later innings.
He is Corbin Burnes. Again, Uncork for a Cause coming up on Labor Day, Monday, September 2nd. Burns.givesmart.com in order to get your tickets. Corbin, what has this season in Baltimore meant to you? I think now that we're deep into it and you've been able to get to know these guys, like it's such a unique thing to come here at this point in your career. What has this season meant to you and your family?
Yeah, I mean, it's been really fun. Coming from Milwaukee to here, it was a similar, young group over there to an even younger group here. And this group of guys, they were really close. Obviously, a lot of them came up together. They were all drafted together, played in the big leagues together. So it was a very close-knit group of guys, and they were very welcoming to me and my family when we came in, and accepted me as one of theirs. And it's been a fun year. This is a great group of guys, full of energy. They all have the same goal each day to go out and win a baseball game. So it's been fun to be a part of. Obviously, we're still going through it, but hopefully it leads to a long postseason run, and we'll see what happens in October.
Do you have a feel like for that? Like, it's so weird because not every team that wins a World Series is the team that's like playing the best baseball at a certain date. Do you have a feel for what it takes? Like, what are the things that need to transition the most in order for a good team to be a championship team?
Yeah, I mean, I played on some really good teams in Milwaukee. I've been in the postseason 5 different times, and each one of those teams was different. It's like you say, it's all about who kind of gets hot at the end of the season and takes that run. But obviously, if you're a better team and you get hot, it makes it that much easier for you to go deep into the season. But this is a really good baseball team. We've shown that. They showed that last year with 100 wins. We're not on pace to quite get that many wins this year, but I think we're a team that, I think you could put up there with anyone else in the league, that we can go out there and when we play the right baseball and play how we know how to play, I think we can beat anyone. So it's just about getting things together and, like I say, get hot at the right time and see how long it can carry us.
Can I ask you about? There's two things that have come up recently. One being this potential rule that a starter would have to pitch 6 innings to try to emphasize starting pitching. Not something that's likely going to impact you very often in your life, but I'm sure you heard about it. What do you make of the thought process of trying to continue to re-emphasize starting pitching around Major League Baseball?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see starting pitching get back to what it was 15, 20 years ago, where guys were consistently going in the 6th and 7th inning. You see a lot of the openers now and a lot of guys getting short starts, and I think that's due to a lot of teams just developmentally not having to do that, right? With all this analytics and stuff nowadays, it's 2 times through the order, and you stack your bullpen, and you get to the 9th inning. So, I would obviously love to see it. Obviously, a lot of the rules that I saw of forcing a guy to throw 6 innings, immediately to me brings injury concerns in. We've got enough injuries in the game as it is, and especially with starting pitching. So I think you start forcing guys to get to pitch counts or inning marks, whatever it is, that makes them feel uncomfortable. I think we're going to get an even bigger spike in injuries. So I think that's where my hesitation is. But if there's a way to safely do it to get starting pitchers to go deeper into games, then I'm all for it.
Speaking of innings and safety and things like that, right? Like it seems like that's been the topic. I really want to know, how are you so immune? How are you the one guy in all of baseball that's been able to avoid all of this? And do we maybe not talk about it so we don't risk messing with that somehow?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm immune. I think there's a point of knowing kind of how your body moves, how your body recovers, kind of knowing what it takes every 5 or 6 days to get feeling right to get on the mound. I've been fortunate enough to have very few injuries in my career. Whether that's mechanically how I throw or my routine of how I recover. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm not going to change what I'm doing. So hopefully it continues to give me good health and can for the rest of my career.
Do you feel like if they did, I think one of the thoughts of the 6 inning rule is maybe guys don't just come out firing quite as much. Do you feel like that could be a benefit to pitchers if they put that into place?
Yeah, I think that's a lot of the reason why you see a lot of guys getting hurt is the max effort for long periods of time. But there's a reason why they're doing that. Their stuff is better that way.
Right.
So if they're an 80-85% kind of guy, effort level, maybe they're not near as good. Maybe they have a tough time staying in the league. So, it's tough to tell a guy he can't go out and throw max effort if it then, doesn't keep them in the big leagues. So it's tough to tough to try to tell a guy how to throw or where to throw it or whatever it may be. When that's what they've done to get to the big leagues, that's what they've done to stay in the big leagues, and that you have to imagine that's what the guys are going to continue to do if it means keeping their job and staying in the big leagues.
We have heard all of the position players, right? Like the Shohei Ohtani, and I get he's not just a position player, but Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge, they've been openly campaigning, hey, I want to participate in the Olympics. I want to do that in 2028 in LA. I wonder, like, you would be a guy that would be very much at like the height of this conversation, but adding innings seems like that would be a nightmare scenario. Where would you be with the possibility, like if this was something that was real, that Major League Baseball players would be allowed to participate in the 2028 Olympics? Would you be up for it? Would the season need to be shorter to make up for the innings? What would the thought process be?
Yeah, I think it would be really cool, especially with the Olympics coming to LA, coming stateside, to have, basically your best in the country showing out to try to win a gold medal. I think would be really cool. To have the opportunity to wear USA across your chest would be really cool. But like you say, logistically, I don't know how it would work. Obviously you hear, doing it at the All-Star break, not having an All-Star game that year, and making the All-Star break, 10 days versus the typical 4 days. I don't know what the logistics of it would be. And then, like you say, it brings in the extra innings you would throw without a break in the middle of the season. How would teams, view that? So, obviously the Olympics isn't until 2028, so we've got a couple years to figure it out if that's something that we want to do. But yeah, I definitely think there's some logistical hurdles that you got to get over before you commit to anything.
I mean, it would be awesome. Like, it would be so cool for baseball fans to have that scenario play out. But I get it, right? Like, you guys have to really think about the impact that has on your career trying to do that. All right, so I two ones really quick, and I really appreciate the time, Corbin. One, you mentioned the kids earlier. How is everything? How's mom? How's everybody? Like, the idea of twins to me, I got two boys, they're 9 and 7, and that's enough of a nightmare for me. The idea of twins just seems overwhelming. How's everything gone?
Everything's good. Everyone's good. Twins are 7.5 weeks old now, so it's going quick. Big brother's doing a great job of adjusting to it.
That's cool.
Mom's doing great. Fully recovered now, and she's got her hands full. She's back home, so she's taking care of 3. With some help, but she did amazing. The girls have been great. Big brother's been doing awesome. So nothing but good things going on there.
I believe the word we're looking for is hero in that situation. Is what it sounds like. And then, how are you? There's been so few of them in your life. Like, how do you handle when a start doesn't go your way? Do you obsess over it? Or are you like, oh my god? Or are you okay? I can throw it away. Those things happen. It's part of baseball. I don't even think about it a couple of days later.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that it's obviously you don't ever want to happen.
Right.
But it seemed to happen once or twice in the season, just to, pretty much everyone. So, obviously, it's about how you respond. Having done this for 5 or 6 years now, and I know that at some point it's going to happen. And you just have to go about your business and go about your routine as you normally would. Knowing that, hey, sometimes just things don't go your way. Teams are really hot. Teams don't miss pitches, don't miss the mistakes, and that's kind of what happens. So business has been pretty much usual through the last couple of days of just getting the body right, going out there putting the work in. I've been pretty proud of how consistent I've been throughout the season this year, up until this last one. So there's no reason for me to think that all of a sudden it's just going to go downhill.
Do you like remember? Have there been that few that you can remember, like every bad start that you've had in the last 5 years?
I don't.
Okay.
I really don't. I couldn't tell you the last bad one I had.
That's probably what it takes. Just being able to push it completely out of mind, right? Like that's the way that it goes.
That's just part of baseball.
And you're not gonna throw away the bobblehead because the start went poorly or anything like that. Like you'll still hold on to that one.
Yeah, no, I got quite a few of them now, so I'll just add it to the collection.
Very cool. Corbin Burnes, seriously, really appreciate you and your wife and your family taking up the cause and doing this. Uncork for a Cause, Monday, September 2nd, benefiting Ronald McDonald House Charities in Maryland. Go to burns.givesmart.com. a great night celebrating with great wine, including that 2021 California Reserve that is Corbin's very own, just one barrel, and that will be the only place where it will be available. Awesome thing that you're doing. Corbin Burnes, thank you for spending the time with us. I've really enjoyed it. I would be remiss to say, if we sell this thing out, can it maybe improve like a 2% chance of keeping you around moving forward? Is there any chance of that?
We'll see what happens. We still got a lot.
I understand it. Corbin, thank you for taking the time for us, man. Really enjoyed this conversation.
Yep, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Corbin Burnes, Orioles ace, with us here on GCR. Again, great stuff. And support that event. That's a great thing that he's doing, and a really cool opportunity for you to get out on Labor Day and support a wonderful charity. If you haven't seen the Ronald McDonald House, it's I do a lot of work with Helping Up Mission. It's obviously right there. It's right around the corner, right? So I'm there all the time, and it's a very special place. So good on Corbin Burnes for doing that, and thank him for taking the time for us this morning.